on Masson. Cloudy day on the Space Coast. A lot of rain gear in the ballpark today. Tark came off the field about a half hour ago. That's good news. We didn't know, based on the forecast, if we'd even have a game today. Yankees are here. Bob and FP, we are here as well, right here on Masson. And for those who just can't wait to get news like this, one big item checked off the list: Max Scherzer will start opening day.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor for any starter to have that start on opening day. Max Scherzer excited about it. But when you talk about the Nats staff, I mean, Matt Williams could have picked anyone out of the hat to be the opening day starter. I think it's fun to talk about for us and fun for fans to talk about. But maybe the bigger news than Max Scherzer starting opening day is Steven Strasburg starting the third game against Matt Harvey. That's going to be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, the radar guns will be out that day. That'll be exciting. Doug Fister started 25 games last year. He won 16 of them. He only had 4 no decisions. The guy pitched deep into almost every game he's appeared in last year.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that in-between inning clock today with Doug Fister. But there's the famous yeah baby with Matt Williams against the Braves. Stayed in the game, got the job done. And remember, in the playoffs last year, was the only starter that got a win, Game 4 in San Francisco. So Doug Fister on the mound today. His control not where he wants it yet. He's still working on that. He's a perfectionist, as we all know. But you look at the last 25 starts, Doug Fister 16-6 with a 2.41 ERA, 4th in the National League.
Yunel Escobar, established big league infielder. He finally gets into the lineup today. To get him some at-bats, he'll lead off. Can't wait to see this guy when he's healthy.
Yeah, and it's important for him to play. I think if he plays today and the rest of camp, he can get 40 or 50 at-bats. But more importantly than the offense, Carp, is him playing second base, a position that he's not familiar with. He gets to play with Ian Desmond today. They'll work together. So keep an eye on Escobar at second base, a new position for him.
Well, the breezes are blowing here on the Space Coast. Brian McCann and the Yankees are here today. Guess what? Opening day, 2 weeks away. Here we go again. Knox, Max Scherzer on the cover with Matt Williams. So Scherzer making news today as the opening day starter. There are still a few injury issues to discuss at spring training. So with Pfister warming up, we better be in a hurry to get it down to Dan Coco.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, unfortunately, a bunch of injuries to discuss as we get ready to kick this one off. Let's start with Anthony Rendon, whose sprained left knee is still sore. He's gotten a handful of days off. The Nats have been trying to get him a little bit of work to keep him fresh, but they're going to take things carefully with Rendon, and that knee is still barking a little bit, so he is going to be held back from major activities for now. And Matt Williams said the good news is that Rendon's swing doesn't take a long time to come around. The bad news is we're getting pretty close to opening day now, 2 weeks away, so Rendon is running out of chances to get spring at-bats. Jason Worth appeared in a minor league game yesterday, got 5 innings in the field. The Nats hope to get him in a big league spring training game soon. Steven Strasburg sprained his left ankle a little bit ago through a light bullpen yesterday. Should throw one more pen, then get back in the starting rotation. And Yunel Escobar, good news for the Nationals. His first Grapefruit League game, he's in there at second base, Bob.
He'll be leading off in this one today. Doug Pfister gets ready to face Brett Gardner. Solid Yankee who's established himself in recent years. And the 31-year-old Pfister delivers strike one. Ball game underway at 1:06. Hard to believe we're playing with the forecast we saw, some of the rain we saw here earlier. Field's in great shape, and Doug Pfister. In the spring, his 4th start, he has a 3.24 ERA so far.
Yeah, last start against the Marlins. Gave up a couple of runs on 6 hits, 1 strikeout, and 4 innings of work. Still working on that pinpoint command that he's known for. Hasn't really got to that point yet. We all know what a perfectionist Doug is. But that's something you build up to as a starting pitcher in camp.
Well, Brett Gardner recently got himself a nice contract with the Yankees. Look at the swing back action on that Pfister fastball. Yankees hitting .240 this spring. Chris Young is next, and then our old friend from Atlanta, Brian McCann. Garrett Jones, the former Pirate, and then a bunch of the young guys with the exception of Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, who's been around the big leagues for a while. They are employing the DH. The Nationals are not. Doug Pfister and the pitcher starting to hit now. And so only a 9-man lineup for Washington today. And this is Chris Young, 7 for 31, hitting .226. Pfister comes out throwing strikes. Knocks it down with the glove right at his feet. 2 outs.
Let's set the defense for the Nats. You just saw Doug Pfister, who's a gold glove quality pitcher, the way he fields his position. But the rest of the defense, Robinson, Taylor, Harper, your outfield. Desmond Ward, left side. Escobar, Zimmerman, right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Well, Nats fans have been waiting to see their new second baseman. There he is, Yunel Escobar, getting his first start. Took some live hacks Saturday in batting practice. He suffered that mild oblique strain. But like I said in the open, he still could get 40 to 50 at-bats. Plus some ABs on the minor league side. Be nice and ready for opening day.
Brian McCann. Not that impressive with the average, .232 in his first year as a Yankee. But last year he did hit 23 home runs, 75 driven in. It's a good ballpark for left-handed hitters who can pull it and get it in the air. And he fits that bill. 7 for 27 with a home run this spring. And the Nats pull a modified shift. Desmond's still on the left field side of second base. And Pfister's got that fastball swinging back early. Way off the line at third. Drew Ward. Swing and a miss. A taken third strike, a good defensive play, and a swing with a miss. And Doug Pfister outstanding in the first inning. For the weather here today. We might have some showers. He's trying to figure out where the head hole is and where the arm holes
Where's
are.
the tag on the back? He's struggling.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Oh, my goodness.
The Nationals hitting 253. Escobar in the lineup today. Michael Taylor, 7. Clint Robinson having a great spring in left field in front of him. And going to look at a big young man from Oklahoma by the name of Drew Ward at third base, playing in his first game in the big league camp. Here's Brian Mitchell, 23-year-old right-hander. He's from Reidsville, North Carolina. Yankees took him in the 16th round 6 years ago. He has a career minor league record of 22 and 34.
Yeah, 6'3", 205.
AA, AAA last year.
At 2-5 with a 4.84 in AA, 4-2 with a 3.67 in AAA. He's got a fastball that goes 94 to 96 miles an hour. Cutter 91. He got a big curveball at 83.
Yunel Escobar, 32 years of age, 276 career hitter. He's a line drive guy, kind of goes gap to gap. He'll use the park. He'll show you some power. 7 homers, 39 RBIs with the Rays last year.
There was no strained oblique in that first swing. He let it rip.
That's a good sign. Traded for Tyler Clippard. Yunel Escobar to the Nats.
You know, I've had that oblique injury, Carp, and it's one that you have to be safer than safe and make sure it's 100% healed when you come back, 110% healed if there's such a thing, because you can restrain that. And you can take all the batting practice you want, but when you get in the game situation, you turn it up that extra notch. So those first 2 swings, big for Escobar coming back from that injury.
1-2 from Mitchell. Gives him the curveball and a high bouncer. Fair. Long throw for Nick Noonan. And how about that? Escobar beats it out. And he's 1 for 1 this spring.
You know, watching Escobar run to first base, you can re-injure that thing running. So I was checking him out going down the line, but got down there good. And a pretty good play by Nick Noonan over here. Go to the backhand side. Good strong throw across, but Escobar just beginning to throw. Let's check out his gate. A little slippage out of the box. Smelling a hit all the way. And check the box early. There goes a no-hitter.
Here's Ian Desmond. Escobar, by the way, in his career, not a base stealer, really, only 31 career steals. But he's a good base runner. Knows how to go first to third. Just a heady ball player, kind of guy you like to have on a good team. They're giving Desmond a lot of room to the left of the shortstop. Fastball whistles in, and at 95, the count's 0-2.
Yeah, looking before the game, Escobar's actually led off 218 games.
Yeah.
A 287 average and a 353 on-base percentage out of the leadoff spot. So you wonder why Matt Williams let him off today. That's why.
Ian this spring, 8 for 29 with 3 RBIs. Nationals playing their 21st game of the spring. Haven't run a whole lot. They've stolen 12 bases. The absence of Denard Span has something to do with that. Chatted with Denard this morning. He's feeling good. And he says, in his mind, if everything goes right, 1st of May, somewhere in that area for him, we hope. 1 out, 1 on.
Set the defense for the Yankees today behind Brian Mitchell. Gardner, Young, Judge. Your Yankees outfield. Ryan Noonan left side. Ref Snyder, Jones right side. And Brian McCann behind the plate.
And Joe Girardi. His ball club went 84 and 78 last year. Finished 2nd in the AL East, but they were 12 games out. That's a division, I think, that's really wide open this year. Orioles have lost a couple of bats, and Nick Markakis and Nelson Cruz. Everybody thinks the Red Sox will be a whole lot better. The Rays, Joe Madden gone. Toronto, always solid, but haven't been able to win a championship in a while. And then the Yankees.
Well, with some health, the Yankees have a chance to contend. They've been pretty injury prone in recent years.
There's the A-Rod factor. How much does he play? Chase Headley, the projected starter at third base. Harper out to center. And the ball caught by Chris Young, 2 down.
Pretty good swing by Bryce. Got that big curveball I was talking about, kind of hung up for him.
So with 2 outs, it'll be Ryan Zimmerman hitting .241. 4 RBIs. He's 7 for 29. Shifting way up the middle, Rob Refsnyder, their second baseman. Ryan Strength is hitting the ball hard up the middle. And the breaking ball hangs up and in. Yankees are 12-8. The Nats are 8-9-3. They had their 3rd tie of the spring yesterday.
Soccer team.
They just haven't been able to win those shootouts. Off day tomorrow, by the way. And they're back in action down in Jupiter with Gio pitching Wednesday against St. Louis. Drew Storer and Matt Thornton scheduled to work in that game. Stammen, Trinan, Jansen, Barrett, the principals available in the bullpen today, along with Rafael Martin, Heath Bell, and Evan Meek. Zimmerman gets under it into left center. Gardner the call. That ball had some carry to it by the time it was done. Have a breeze blowing out toward left. That's not the norm here at Space Coast Stadium. Got Dad, it's a good day on March 23rd for that young Nats fan. And by the way, we're hoping that 2018 might be a very special time as well. Local leaders in D.C. have submitted a very strong bid to host the MLB All-Star Game. Haven't had one in D.C. since '69. So rally around the web campaign at #DCIsReady. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser encouraging you to do that. Send your tweet to the Major League Baseball offices and get an All-Star Game back at Nationals Park. Let MLB know D.C. is ready via social media. #DCIsReady.
I think being in the playoffs in 2012, 2014, and having the Winter Classic at Nats Park has shown everybody that D.C. is definitely ready for an All-Star Game.
The Winter Classic was spectacular. Fister, 2 pitches already, 1 ball, 1 strike. First inning, 11 pitches, 8 strikes. This is Garrett Jones, who was actually with Miami last year, hit 15 homers for the Marlins. 53 RBIs. They've got Michael Morse this year. And Garrett Jones is a Yankee.
You might like that right field porch in Yankee Stadium.
Hitting 200 this spring, 6 for 30, couple of RBIs. That ball was a changeup, and he laced it to right. Bryce Harper right there. Yeah, a bit of a different breeze here today. It's blowing to left. On a usual day, that ball might go over a right fielder's head and slam up against the wall.
Well, speaking of Bryce Harper and balls going over your head, did you see Jose Pirela yesterday from the Yankees against the Mets? Ran right into the center field fence, full speed. Great effort on the ball. Underwent MRI in his neck and his spine, CT scan, everything's fine. Joe Girardi talking about it before the game today, that they were all pleasantly surprised, you know, but the concussion thing can kind of go either way. But what an effort.
The DH is one of their camp catchers in John Ryan Murphy. 284 for the Yankees in 32 games last year. Florida guy from Bradenton. Just 23 years of age. Sister showing him one outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball jammed him. Murphy 5'11", 205. And on the spring, he's 3 for 24. Up the middle, a clean single. Yankees have their first base runner. That'll bring in the shortstop, Brendan Ryan.
Doug Fister talking about those spring training blues he had last start. And if you talk to starting pitchers, their 4th, 5th start in spring, they'll go through that dead arm phase, or, you know, where they're just ready for some games that count. They build up their strength. They're ready to rock and roll. And, you know, you build your pitch count up to 60-something. This today for Doug will be 70-something in this start. But every player goes through that. You're just ready to go. Head north.
Brendan Ryan, 167 in 49 games with the Yankees last year. He's 1 for 6 this spring. Every one of these plays, another learning situation for Ryan Zimmerman over there at first, holding runners, taking throws, trying to time properly coming off the bag for a pitch.
And then not getting picked off yourself.
Yeah, that was a heater. No changeup on that one.
Watch this snap throw from Fister. Zimmerman ready. And he almost caught Murphy napping.
I'll know Ryan has mastered things over there. The first time he takes a throw, slaps the tag, sells it to the umpire, and the guy's safe, but he gets the out call. That's when you know he's comfortable over there. Inside out swing. Out of play right side. Big crowd today. Career by position for Ryan Zimmerman. And it was just amazing to me what he did last year in left field. Took one for the team and was outstanding.
Yeah, he was great out there. Remember that dive and play he made against Milwaukee in that marathon extra inning game to end it. It was like, we're going home. And I just think that the main thing is a superstar like Zimmerman, the face of the franchise. You ask him to go to the left, he goes to the left. You ask him to go to first, he goes to first. And there's never been a problem with the glove anywhere. I just think like the little nuances like you're talking about around the bag, where to play guys. You're on the other side of the infield. You get at a different angle on balls off the bat. All those things that he's thinking about right now, he won't have to think about it in June or July.
Sure. Little tapper, and that hit the batter, so a foul ball. Well, you can see the crowd stirring. The rain has started to fall again. It's going to be one of those days.
Somebody else trapped in that plastic thing. Those are dangerous.
Yeah. You inhale too hard, look out. Tough play, Desmond. Whips it to second, and then Escobar airmails the throw. So an outstanding play by Ian Desmond. And then the sidearm whip got away from Escobar.
Well, you remember Escobar hasn't played a lot of second base, so Ian Desmond doing a nice job with the in-between hop. But Escobar standing pat on the base, had a little interference from the runner, launched that throw. I don't think the ball was wet. It just started to rain right here. I think that just scored it out. But a nice play by Ian Desmond. That's the thing. You got to watch these two guys work together. It's just not that easy, especially if you played shortstop your whole life. I went from shortstop to second base. Now you're doing things backwards. You're doing things blindly. The play isn't in front of you like it is at shortstop. And right there, Escobar was looking at Desmond and couldn't feel the runner, and maybe felt the runner and just let it fly.
Yeah. I love the instinctive play by Desmond there. Didn't even have to turn around and look at the bag. Little backhand flip, and he knew where to put it. That was really good. Aaron Judge, the right fielder. 4 hits, a home run, 3 RBIs for the Yankees this spring.
You know, the more you play second base, the more you can feel the runner. Meaning you can kind of feel him coming. But when you haven't played over there, it's almost like a quarterback getting sacked from the blind slide. You really don't know where the runner is. And it's going to be an adjustment period for Escobar for sure. He's played over there. It's not like he's never played there. But when you haven't played there a whole lot, all of a sudden you're doing everything backwards. The feeds to second are backwards. The double play turn is backwards compared to what you're used to at short.
Runner at second base with 2 down. Pfister with a good-looking diving pitch away from the right-handed hitter. So he has spanned 3 in 2 innings. Pfister on his game, scoreless so far. On to the bottom of the second inning. The Nats will have 5, 6, 7 due up. Wilson Ramos, Clint Robinson, and Michael Taylor against the 23-year-old Yankee pitcher Brian Mitchell. So Ramos having a good spring, 8 for 27, 4 RBIs. That is an unhittable fastball. Tailing up and in. Still got the corner with it. Strike 1. Target in again. So the showers started, then stopped. You might notice a little haze on our camera lenses out there. Quite muggy here. Outfield well around to the right. That's interesting because they pitched him inside on the first 2 offerings. Now they swing around to the right side. And an 0-2, and that was a breaking ball away.
The Yankees use a lot of shifts. Joe Girardi talking before the game. He's got a new infield with some new members, obviously post-Derek Jeter era. And when you have a lot of shifts going on, you know, communication is key. So you got Headley at third base, Stephen Drew at second base, Didi Gregorius at shortstop. All, you know, besides Headley, who was there last year, new guys trying to learn all the shifts that Girardi employs. And he likes the way they're working together. He likes the way his team's shaping up in spring training. He was talking about it before the game.
Breaking ball away. Ramos can't reach it. Well, Tyler Moore's having a great spring, Dan, hitting .351, 8 RBIs. Take it away.
Thank you, Bob. Tyler, thank you for stepping out into the rain and joining us for a couple minutes. Yeah, Bob just mentioned the hot start that you've gotten off to this spring. You decided to play winter ball this last winter in the Dominican. Take us into the process of how a player decides that that's the right course of action for him, and why did you feel that that was something that you wanted to do this winter?
I feel like the last couple of years, you know, I've been not getting as many bats as I wanted to, being up and down in AAA in the big leagues. And, you know, I just felt like it was a personal decision. I just wanted to go and experience. I heard great things about it. And, you know, it was a great thing for me just to see another country also and to go down there and play baseball. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, what are the takeaways from going down to the Dominican where they love the game so much and they're so rabid about baseball?
Oh, it was great. I mean, first off, met a lot of new teammates down there. It's pretty cool. Learned a little bit of Spanish, kind of. Ate some different food, and you know, it was just a good experience all around. Stayed about 7 weeks, and just really learned a lot. So it was very beneficial for me.
Yeah. How much do you think it's kind of helped you have your feet under you a little bit as you come into spring? Do you think that you can directly relate playing in winter ball to the hot start that you've gotten off to this spring?
Well, like I said, I was there for 7 weeks, so I mean, I still had 4 months off. But I think it just gave me kind of a recognition of new pitchers that are up there that I'm facing every day. I know more people, and I'm just more comfortable at the box, and everything seems to be, you know, working as planned.
You've gotten the vast majority of your playing time this spring in the outfield as compared to first base, which is the position you came up playing. How much more comfortable do you feel playing the outfield now as compared to back in 2012 when you first started making that transition?
I feel great out there. It's just been a lot more comfortable for me. I mean, I feel, you know, great in the outfield right now. I know Zim's playing a lot at first, and that's what he needs to be doing. But you know, like I said earlier, it just feels really good. It feels pretty natural out there. Whenever earlier, it didn't seem so natural. So,
what's the toughest part about making that transition and learning a new position and playing out in the outfield for an extended time for the first time for you?
I'd probably say just making sure you're getting your work in your other position. Like, I spent so much time in the outfield, it's tough for me to be getting my, you know, extra work at first base. So that's just something I try to keep an eye on and try to just really take care of that spot just to keep them both fresh.
Now, we've talked in the past years about how when you're up with the big league club, your at-bats are obviously fewer and further between, and it's tough for you to kind of keep a consistency at the plate when you're not getting the number of at-bats that you'd like. How are you maybe better at dealing with those inconsistent at-bats now than before? Do you think you've improved in that regard?
You know, I think so. I think this year I've come in kind of a lot more calm and a lot more comfortable, and the whole thing for me is just kind of slowing the game down and letting it kind of come to you. And I feel like, you know, that's kind of been a big deal for me this spring training, and it's showed off, and it's helped me out a lot. And, you know, I'm just excited for the season, and I really like our chances with our team. So
13 hits this spring for you, 9 for extra bases. Are you planning on mixing in any more singles at any point, or are you good with this?
Hey, I'll take the singles all I can. I'll take whatever I get. So
thanks for the time, Tyler. Best of luck this year.
Thanks, guys.
Tyler Moore.
About 2 things I'm taking from that interview. Tyler Moore, probably the only guy that would stand out in the rain and do an interview with Mass and Dan and not say a word about it. And I want to hear him speak Spanish. I mean,
you know what? I was about to say, that's one of the best quotes of camp. I learned a little Spanish, kinda.
I want to hear that southern accent with some Espanol.
Michael Taylor hitting .324. 3-0 count here. He showed bunt on 1 pitch. Taking and a couple of walks in a row. Clint Robinson drew one. And now Taylor will set the table for Drew Ward.
Michael Taylor hit opposite field home run off Justin Verlander. and Verlander talking after the game about how it was a pitcher's pitch down and away. He just went down and got it, went the other way. So making the adjustments on the outer half of the plate. And I can't wait to watch this guy play every single day. Tremendous upside, great kid, and he can play.
Well, Drew Ward's a guy that has spurred a bit of conversation around here because he is big and he is strong. He's from a little bitty town way out in western Oklahoma called Leedy, Oklahoma. It's almost to the Texas Panhandle. And when they took the census in 2010, they had 425 people who lived there. And the town encompasses 4/10 of a square mile in area. So he's from the smallest of small town America. And here he is in a big league uniform.
Tons of raw ability, we're told. And got called over from minor league camp for today because, you know, the injury with Anthony Rendon. Kevin Franz and Ian Stewart been playing every day. So Matt Williams out of third baseman. So you bring over the kid from minor league camp. And usually when you're brought over from minor league camp, it's just to go in late, 7th, 8th, 9th. Yeah. He's getting a start today in a big league game against the Yankees. How cool is that?
10 homers, 73 RBIs at Hagerstown last year. In 2 years of minor league baseball, his batting average is .275. Goes the other way. Ball dropped by the shortstop. In standing up over there is Clint Robinson. And the bases are loaded with one out. Well-placed ground ball. I'm going to give him a base hit on that. Why not?
Well, it just goes to show you the Yankees in kind of a shift against Ward. I can't imagine they have a whole lot of defensive information on him. And Brendan Ryan going way to his right. Can't handle the in-between backhand. Had it in the glove, fell out, stayed with it. And I think if Nick Noonan was on the bag, they would have had Clint Robinson.
You're right. So a great bunting situation here for Doug Fister with one out. He could either try to bunt somebody home or take a full swing here. Bases are loaded.
Oh, he's hacking.
Yeah, I was thinking second and third, but the bases are loaded here, so he is. And a little chance to do some early bat damage here in spring training.
Well, in your defense, Garb, if you had a good runner, a plus runner at third base, you could bunt. But Clint Robinson, as we just saw, below average runner, and this is a good time for Doug to let it rip.
Paul Nart, home plate umpire, took a long look at that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fister hits it solidly. Should be a double play. Turned by Brendan Ryan, who got it from Rob Refsnyder. So the Nats are gone in the second. Couple of walks and a base hit. They've stranded 3 runners. On to the third, no score in Vieira.
Should have bunted.
Himself a big league base hit. That ball to deep short, loaded up the bags. Double play ball took care of the inning. Nats Plus back this year. Incredible benefits, discounts, exclusive events. For a limited time, new members can also receive an official 10th anniversary Nats jersey. That's while supplies last. Don't miss out on what is going to be a memorable season, starting with your guaranteed seat to opening day. Yeah, if you need some opening day tickets, check out Nats Plus. 202-675-NATS or nationals.com/Nats Plus.
That dude making the trip.
Yeah, all geared up. Tampa Bay fan doing a little scouting for the Nats home and home with the Rays later this year. Doug Fister, 30 pitches, 22 strikes in 2 innings. Second baseman Rob Refsnyder leads off, then the third baseman Nick Noonan.
Rick Harp, you look how the Yankees are shaping up this year. You know, Tanaka's been outstanding in camp so far. Joe Girardi impressed with what he's been able to come back from, his elbow deal. CC Sabathia pitched yesterday. He's been doing well. Then you got Pineda, new addition Nathan Eovaldi, Chris Capuano. I mean, if they're healthy, and that's a big question with the Yankees, with Ellsbury, Gardner, Beltran, Teixeira, McCann, Headley, Rodriguez, Drew, Gregorius, that's a good ball club.
It is. And they have some elements with Gregorius and Gardner, speed elements that the Yankees haven't always had over the years. I mean, Gardner can swipe them.
And I kind of like, Carp, what he's doing with his closer. He's not naming a closer. And, you know, relievers will tell you that's tough when you don't know your role. But Girardi talking before the game, he's going to give his relievers potential hitters that they'll face late in the game, so that they'll know if those hitters are due up in the 8th or 9th inning, those are his guys that they're going to face. So in actuality, they will know the role.
And that ball laced into the corner by Rob Refsnyder, the second baseman. Well, we haven't even talked about Jacoby Ellsbury, 39 steals last year. Gardner swiped 21. Good swing by the minor leaguer. By the way, they pick up 10 wins if CC's healthy. He went 3-4 last year. So not a whole lot of mystery there. If he's healthy, he can take the ball 30 times. That's a quantum leap for him and the ball club.
Yeah, his knee better. You know, Pineda had the shoulder last year. Teixeira has become more injury prone in recent years. Beltran coming back off of off-season elbow surgery. A-Rod, before last year's suspension, only played 265 of 468 possible games from 2011 to 2013. So there's a lot of question marks, but if Girardi's club is healthy, I think they'll be as good as anybody in the East.
Yeah, it's kind of thinking about Mark Teixeira coming into this game. Baltimore guy from our area. That one pulled to the right side. Ryan Zimmerman handles it. No problem off the bat of Nick Noonan. But Mark Teixeira went to the Yankees in 2009. There were reports during the previous offseason that the Nationals had offered him upwards of $180 million on a multi-year deal in D.C. Well, if that had happened, Adam LaRoche never would have been in that. There would have been a lot of injuries over the years. Sometimes the best things are the things that don't happen for a ball club. And with all due respect to Mark, an outstanding player and a Gold Glove defender, injuries have really stalled him in New York.
Yeah, it's amazing how that whole thing worked out.
Gardner takes a strike. Infield in. Here's where the veteran presence and mastery of a guy like Doug Fister comes into play. How to handle a good hitter, a contact guy, in a situation like this.
Squeeze guy, too.
Changed eye levels. I'm not sure he wanted that breaking ball up there, but it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner struck out looking first time. Fister threw a fastball at his front kneecap, and it slid out over the plate. That time he gives him the same location, but that ball was diving down and in.
Well, that was a slider. He's trying to get Gardner to pull the ball to Ryan Zimmerman. When you bring your infield in, ideally you want the hitter to hit the ball to a corner, so a right-handed hitter hitting it to third, left-handed hitter hitting it to first. But in a 1-2 count, he'll definitely take a punch out right here. Tough guy to strike out.
He is. Hits it hard. A reach by Escobar, but he can't throw home, and that's why you want the ball to a middle infielder. But Yunel Escobar just saved a base hit on the grounder. The Yankees take the lead.
And he made a smart decision after he made the glove play. You got a wet field. You're coming back from an oblique strain. There's no need to get up real quick right here and make an awkward throw to home plate. So a veteran move by Escobar after he made the glove play. Just get to a knee, get the out at first. It's spring training. Nice play. And a great thought process as well.
Pfister throws a strike to Chris Young.
Also early in the game, too. Even in a regular season game. Just get the out at first base. There's no reason to try to make a circus play and lead to a big inning.
That's a breaking ball, and Chris Young never moved. He'll go down to first base with 2 outs. He kind of had to look after that ball hit him. Hey, I came all the way over here to get some at-bats, not to get hit by a 78-mile-an-hour curveball. Although that probably didn't feel too good where it got him.
No, that's why he stayed in there so long. It's not because he's upset about getting hit. It got him right on the knee, and there is no padding there.
He's aboard, and he's got speed. 2 outs. Brian McCann, the hitter. This is Doug Pfister's game, though. You watch his pace of work, and you don't know if there's anybody on or the bases are empty. He's not one of those guys where everything has to come to a screeching halt just because somebody's standing on a bag. And you love that about him, especially if you're playing behind him.
Well, he's so quick to the plate, he really doesn't even have to throw over. I think there was 1 stolen base attempt against him last year, and it was unsuccessful all season long. Nobody runs on Pfister. Watch how quick he is.
McCann gets under one. Harper racing back and looking. He's running out of room, and Brian McCann has made this a 3-0 game.
He can hit.
Yeah, you said that a lot over about your first 3 years with us. And we agree. That's his second of the spring. RBIs number 5 and 6.
Let's see where the pitch was from Pfister, but McCann definitely gave it a ride. Tried that run-back fastball, but McCann stayed on it nice. Gave up on the run-back fastball a couple of pitches before that. Probably knew Pfister would try to go in there again. That one ran back right onto his barrel. He got all of it. It's tough for a left-handed hitter to hang in there on that pitch. That pitch started out right at Brian McCann. He hung tough and barreled it up.
And that was all McCann. There is no breeze in this ballpark for the first time in the history of the Washington Nationals. I mean, the flags are not even moving. Normal day, that would have been 100 feet over the wall. McCann gave all the power, and then Garrett Jones stepped in and had a solid single. That'll be 3 hits for the Yankees in the inning, 4 in the game, and the DH John Ryan Murphy steps back in. They're going up Hacken. Good pick over at third after a look to first. Ward decided to go to the short way. So an RBI grounder by Gardner. 2-run homer by McCann. Yunel Escobar, nice play a moment ago. He'll lead off. Bottom third.
Brian McCann's 2-run home run has helped give the Yankees a 3-0 lead, bottom 3. Tony Gwynn Jr., nice enough to pop into the camera well and join me now. Tony, thank you for taking a minute. Let's talk about your spring. You've gotten off to a nice start to things. What has been the key for you offensively these first couple weeks of spring training?
That's a good question. I think being able to come in and work with some guys that I was familiar with and Joe D and Shu has kind of accelerated the process offensively. They identified some things, within the first day I was here that I could do better, and I've just pretty much stayed at that and been able to take it and transfer it to the games. You mentioned Joe Dillon. He's the hitting coach with AAA Syracuse within this organization, and you played with him in Milwaukee. Is that right? I did. We played together 07, 08, and he was a good hitting coach then, too. What did he see or maybe remember about you back then that he was able to kind of pull and give you some tips on as you came into this camp? I think, even back then, he always used to tell me, there's more in there, T, there's more in there. And the one thing that him and Shu kind of identified was me using my backside a little bit more to get through baseballs. And so that way, when I am a little bit out in front or I am a little bit late, I'm able to get through balls and have that backspin on line drives. It kind of carries the ball into the outfield a little bit, and I've been able to benefit from some extra base hits as well because of that. You came into camp, or you signed with the Nationals a little bit into camp. Why did you feel like this was the right choice for you? You probably had some options from various organizations. Why were the Nationals the right fit? Obviously, we have a very talented team. Having an opportunity to possibly get to a playoffs and kind of control your destiny from that standpoint, it was definitely appealing to me. And I'm at the point in my career now where I want to try to get to the pinnacle, which is the World Series. So out of the options that I had, this was the best opportunity as far as being able to come in and contribute, as well as have that opportunity to maybe play for a World Series. You have experience playing all three outfield positions. With you competing for a spot this camp, do you feel like that defensive versatility is something that is kind of a check mark in your column that you bring to the table? Yeah, it certainly can't help. It certainly can't hurt. The fact that I can play all three outfield positions and play them relatively well, I'm sure that, is kind of a bonus for me to be able to go out there, and if they need somebody to go play defense in left, center, or right, I'm very capable of doing all three. Your dad was obviously a very beloved figure throughout Major League Baseball. I'm interested, what's it like growing up as Tony Gwynn's son? That had to be a very cool upbringing, and you got to see some really interesting things along the way. I did. I've been blessed to be a part of some pretty special moments in baseball history. My dad getting 3,000 hits, him being a part of an all-star, mini all-star games, getting to go to Yankee stadiums, things like that. So, for the average, at that time, 9, 10, 11-year-old, there's not many kids that have that notch on their belt, so to speak. So, but honestly, when he wasn't at the ball field, he was dad. And generally, when I went to the park with him, he was still dad. I know obviously he had a job to do, but he never treated me any different, at the house than he did at the baseball stadium. You sound so much like him. It's crazy. How much were you around the ballpark on a day-to-day basis? Probably not when you were too young, but as you got, into those 8, 9, 10 years, were you around a good bit? I was around all day long. Once summertime hit and I wasn't in school, me and my dad pretty much spent every day of the summer together. So, I think that's where the transitioning in the outfield has always been relatively easy for me. Getting to go to the field early, just participating with him, taking ground balls from Davey Lopes, guys like that, has kind of helped me develop in the outfield. Even though at the time I wasn't even playing outfield, when I had to make that switch, it was a relatively easy switch for me to make because I had some experience out there. He probably imparted so much baseball wisdom on you over the years, and that helped you get to this point in your career. Is there any one key piece of advice that you still try and remember, maybe when you're in a rough patch, or just something that he kind of gave to you that you still try and focus on? Yeah, I think the one thing he used to always tell me was the work you put in is what you'll get out of this game. And for me, whether it's your routine, whether you're talking about hitting batting practice or taking balls in the field, there needs to be an agenda to what you're doing. You can't just be out there taking ground balls just for the sake of taking ground balls. You need to be out there with some purpose at hand, and I think that's some of the things he's taught me. That's probably as well as Strassi, being that he went to San Diego State. That was one thing he was really harped on a lot.
let's bring it back to you. You've kind of bounced around to a bunch of different organizations. From a personal level, a lot of fans maybe don't think about what it's like for a guy to relocate so many times and everything like that. What are the difficult parts that come with, moving around? Is the toughest thing making new friendships with players, getting to know the coaches, a new city? What's maybe the toughest part about that?
For me, meeting new teammates hasn't really been a big deal. I'm pretty low key. I enjoy the laugh. So, most people come tell me they're bad jokes when they want to get a laugh. So
you're the sucker that just gives them the cheap laugh.
I am. But I think the hardest part is your family. I have 3 girls. I have a boy on the way, and as they get older, they start to miss you more, and they'd rather have you around as opposed to having you away. So that's the toughest part. I think is being away from your family.
Tony, thanks for the time. Welcome to the Nationals organization, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the spring.
Thank you much.
That is one classy young man, 32-year-old Tony Gwynn Jr. Desmond, they ruled that ball in error. He's at first with 1 out. Harper, the hitter. I always felt sorry for Tony Jr., though. He grew up in a house with no VCRs. They were all at the ballpark. Tony was the pioneer in using video to break down his swing.
He was. But don't feel sorry for Tony Jr. because his dad came home happy every single night after a game because he had 2, 3, or 4 hits. I'm coming home throwing things, and the kids are like, why is Dad mad again?
Now that's a high throw. Heading for third base is Ian Desmond. He's in there. Desmond 3 for 3 stealing bases this spring.
Well, this isn't an inning the Yankees are going to put on their spring training defensive highlight package. Nick Noonan with the error at third, allowing Ian Desmond to reach, and now Brian McCann launching one here at Space Coast Stadium into center field. Desmond taking third base on the throwing error.
Harper, an RBI chance now. Bryce has driven in 3 this spring. Hit an off-speed pitch on the button. First time up, but right at the center fielder. Infield back. Harper goes upstairs. Can't get it.
See if Mitchell tries to throw one higher here in a 1-2 count with a little more on it.
He's given the Nats a couple of walks, 2 hits. 1 strikeout, got Desmond back in the first. Actually 2. He got Ramos leading off the second. And that breaking pitch stays upstairs, 2-2. And that one low. Good at bat by Bryce Harper. They tried breaking balls, a 3-2 heater. Third walk given up by Brian Mitchell in the last 2 innings.
That's big league hitting right there. I mean, a lot of big league hitters, even veteran guys, with the infield back, 1 out. I know it's spring training. They want their RBI. And what does that mean? They're going to force the issue. They're going to expand their strike zone. Bryce had some hittable curveballs right there that weren't strikes that he could have hit a ground ball to second and scored Ian Desmond, but the Yankees have the infield back. He took him. Borderline pitch right there. Takes his walk. The line moves to Ryan Zimmerman. That's a pro at bat. I mean, if Bryce does that during the season, you're seeing the evolution of a hitter right there in just a walk.
Zimmerman fouls one off to the right side.
That's a 20-year-old Bryce. A 19-year-old Bryce swings at pitches right there. You remember early in his career, he tried to do a lot with runners in scoring position. Take what the game gives you. Yeah. That's a very mature at-bat for Bryce. I like what I just saw.
Yeah, stayed very calm.
I mean, even veteran guys, Carver, I'd go out of the zone to hit that ground ball to second to get an RBI.
Runner going, pitch out. McCann, that one's on target. Not even close at second base. Bryce Harper gone, 2 down. Joe Girardi guessing beautifully there.
Well, Girardi, a former catcher, watching Bryce Harper at first base. Brian McCann did a nice job of coming out to meet that pitch and cutting down the distance. That makes the throw to second base much quicker. A lot of times on pitch outs, you'll see catchers stay back. Brian McCann did a nice job of going out and getting that in a perfect throw to get Harper.
1-1 to Ryan Zimmerman. And a little tapper. McCann will pounce with the bare hand, and the Nats fail to score. 2 errors by the Yankees in the inning around a stolen base. On to the middle innings now. It's 3-0 New York.
In a Doug Fister strikeout package, a guy with 98 strikeouts on the entire season last year. Struck out Brett Gardner to start this one off. Then Brian McCann with a slider down and in. And they got Aaron Judge right there. So Doug Fister, one of 5 players in baseball last year with more starts than walks. 25 starts for Fister and only 24 walks all season long. Jordan Zimmerman in that group, too.
That is crazy. So Brian McCann's home run, the big blow of our game summary. Brendan Ryan, Aaron Judge, Rob Refsnyder, top of the 4th for New York. 79, a moving changeup for a strike. Off speed again. To his right, Drew Ward, right on target to a former third baseman.
How long before you throw the former third baseman thing out the window? What do you think?
Now,
Really? No, seriously.
yeah, it's just hard to forget. I mean,
No, I know.
He played third base for this ball club for 9 years.
I guess what I meant by that was, when do you start thinking of him as a first baseman?
Yeah.
Like, he never played third before. Or, you remember when he played third way back there?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, did he?
Didn't he win a Gold Glove on that one year? Aaron Judge, a strikeout swinging first time. That's outside 2-0. It's 2-1 now. So one of those first pitches, scoreboard had it 2-0. It was 1-1. It looked like a changeup that Doug held on to a little bit long. Again, working on the off speed here. On a pitch up, laced in the left by Aaron Judge. Yankees 4 hits in the last 2 innings. It's a big young man. Danny Espinosa into the ball game at second base now. So Yunel Escobar had 2 at-bats, infield hit, and a fly ball to left. Made a spectacular diving play and a grounder. Good day to get back in the lineup.
Yeah, looked good. Didn't get cheated in the box either. Was taking some mighty hacks.
Rob Refsnyder laced one to left, leading off the third with a double, getting the Yankees on the way to their 3-run inning. Up the middle, he's 2 for 2. Went down and got an 83-mile-an-hour pitch. That'll bring in Nick Noonan, the number 9 hitter. Espinosa, Desmond looking at each other in a double play situation here.
That's where last year you saw Fister go exclusively with the sinker.
Into right center, it's carrying, and Michael Taylor will run it down. He put his head down, but he knew he couldn't for long. He had to look up and find that thing. A loud out, 2 down. Good play.
Well, good center fielders instinctively run to a spot. And you see Michael Taylor right there. He knows where that ball's going to be. If you keep your head on the baseball the entire time, it'll slow you down a little bit. So he saw the ball off the bat. He heard the loud sound. He knew it was ticketed for the gap, but he ran to a spot, and he was there. That's a nice play.
Top of the order now, and Fister and Gardner match up for the 3rd time.
You know, Taylor, a former infielder, converted to center field. When you do that, it takes a minute, meaning a year or so, to learn to run to a spot. If you take so many fly balls in batting practice in a game, all of a sudden, you know, in your brain, you say, oh, I remember that one. And your brain just clicks. You know where to go. You know, based on the wind, the elements, all that stuff goes into your head the minute the ball hits the bat. And it just becomes instinctive. But it takes a lot of hard work to get to that point. Michael Taylor's there.
Gardner RBI ground ball last time with an infield drawn in. That was the great play Escobar made. Right on the corner, 1-1. Good pitch under the left-handed hitter's hands. Gardner had a good year for the Yankees last year. 17 homers, 21 steals, drove in 58. Again, same spot. Runner going at first. That's a curveball. That's a frisbee that dropped right in, and Gardner frozen at the plate. So Fister strikes out his 4th batter of the day, gets him a scoreless 4th inning despite giving up a couple of hits. Wilson Ramos straight ahead after he catches that beauty of a curve.
More excitement.
And that's been in existence for 10 years, and they've already won a couple division champs. Yanks 3-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 10th anniversary season at Nats Park. It's going to be packed with fun giveaways, events, special occasions. Promotions include 5 bobbleheads, each representing a magical moment in that 10-year history. Jason Worth's Chia Pet, got to be there for that. Anthony Rendon, Gardno, and events like 10-year Tuesdays and Star Wars Day. Carp, you'll be all dressed up for that. Tickets are going fast for the biggest games of the season, so visit nationals.com to get your tickets right now.
By the way, that was a veteran broadcaster segue.
Thanks.
You just did there.
I almost have to learn them by osmosis sitting next to you every single day, right?
Well,
you're the best.
5 years, you picked up one thing. I like it. Here's Wilson Ramos.
Nobody said I was quick.
Brian Mitchell threw a breaking ball way outside that struck him out last time. Got some sneaky late action on that fastball, too, evidently. I think Wilson thought he was on that.
No, I find it funny how, I live in D.C. now, and I'm hanging out with the fans. And it's like, what's wrong with the Nats? I'm like, what's wrong with the Nats? Well, they can't get past the first round. They've had a team for 10 years, and they've won 2 division championships. I feel like that's pretty good.
Wilson Ramos, and with that speed, Nick Noonan doesn't even attempt to throw. Well, you know how expectations are.
I do. Let's watch the Buffalo run. Once he gets going, you really can't stop him. And like they say, speed kills. It was, joking aside, a couple of these kind of hits where Wilson pulled his hamstrings last year trying to beat out infield singles. And you remember for the majority of the year, he kind of relaxed on him. Matt Williams said, hey, easy on the infield ground balls. He tends to hit a lot of choppers like that, but was really into the stretching, kind of leaned out in the offseason, and actually did look pretty good right there.
Here's Clint Robinson. We've been so impressed with Clint's bat here in spring training. 30 years of age, out of the capital city, Jefferson City, Missouri. And he was at Albuquerque for the Dodgers last year, hit .312 with 80 RBIs there.
He's making some noise. Matt Williams loving the approach, loving the pop in his swing.
Couple of home runs, 6 RBIs, 11 hits this spring.
It's a low-maintenance swing, and stay with me right here. We're going to watch him together on this pitch. There isn't a whole lot going on with the lower half. His feet are very quiet, so this is a guy that could, not play for 4, 5, 6 days, throw him in there against somebody throwing 95 and catch up to that fastball, because if we watch the low half together right here, there's not a lot going on. That's a low-maintenance swing.
Skies one to deep left center. Chris Young back. He runs it down about 380 feet away. Robinson, a good swing. Ramos back to first, and here's Dan with one of our favorite guys, Steve McCatty.
Thank you, Bob. A little cat chat now. Steve McCatty joins me in the camera well for a somewhat surprise visit. Cat, what do you think of Doug Fister so far today? He's gotten hit around a little bit, but is he getting in the type of work that you want to see?
Yeah, he is. He's going out for the 5th inning, what we wanted from him, getting his pitch count where we expect it to be. So, it's part of spring training. You get the ball elevated a little bit, and they give up some hits. So I'm satisfied with what he's doing now.
When it comes to your starters, everyone seems to kind of approach spring training a little differently in terms of what they're working on, whether it's a new pitch that they're tinkering with or something. What do you specifically want to see out of your starters as they work their way through spring?
I just want to see it stay healthy. They all throw the ball so well. There's nothing especially that we try to work on. Same thing, we're just going to go out there and try and pound the zone, make guys swing the bat and get easy outs. There's no secrets to anybody has to learn a new pitch or anything like that. So we just try to make it real simple.
One guy who is tinkering with a new pitch is Max, who's been talking about that cutter a little bit that he's tried to mix in. What are your thoughts on that pitch, how it's been working so far this spring, and whether that could become another weapon for him?
Well, it's an awful good pitch. I don't know if he's tinkering with it or has used it in the past, but, he's got a devastating slider, and this is a little something that he can use, and it looks like it's a real good pitch. I haven't had a chance to watch him, throw a lot of games in the past to see how he did things, but, he's got outstanding stuff.
Rain's starting to fall a little bit now as the Yankees will make a pitching change, but we'll keep it here. Kat, this rotation overall, everyone talks about 1 through 5, how strong it is. Does that make your job easier? Does it make your job tougher? What do you think?
Well, no, I'm sure it makes it easier, but, it's like, people think there's no stress on what we do anyways. And so we have these guys that are out here, and it's just, fun and games, throw them out there. You could lose 2 games in a row, and I could get fired with the rotation we got. So it's a lot of fun for me. It's different personalities. They all have quality stuff. And, I don't put a lot of stock into what people write, what everybody says. Whatever these guys do, if they pitch to what they're capable of, things should go well. So, we just got to let the season play out.
Who has impressed you this spring? Is there someone who maybe Nationals fans back home haven't seen a ton of either? You
have. Your hair is perfectly coiffed.
Thank you.
No matter what. The rain is coming down right now. I don't think a hair has moved. You're really impressive.
Well, this is something. It's spring training. Thank you, Kat. Laying on the compliments here. In terms of younger pitchers that we maybe haven't seen a ton of at the big league level, was there anyone that kind of stood out this camp for you?
Yeah, it's the one thing that I really liked so far that I've seen is Trinan is really throwing the ball great. He's pounded the zone with strikes. The velocity's been great, and I'm real happy with where he's at. You come down here and you see a lot of things. You got to judge who people are facing at the time, what part of the game they're pitching in to really judge what they're doing out there. And I've been around long enough that I say it's hard to get impressed with spring training. I just know how it goes down here. We got guys with a lot of great stuff, and I just watch them go. I don't put one more value on it and say, boy, this guy's really impressed me or not. I just watch what we do.
One more for you, and then we'll let you get back to work. Max today named the opening day starter for this team. Some people say that, that it's a big honor. Other people say after the first time through the order, it really obviously doesn't mean that much at all. What are your thoughts on just kind of the prestige that comes with pitching on opening day and all that entails?
Well, I don't know if there's, I guess people say there's prestige with doing it because naturally, again, you guys say, okay, this is your number 1 starter because that's the first guy you chose. We have 5 guys that could be number 1s or opening day starters. We're just that fortunate. To me, it doesn't matter because once it starts, somebody has a rain out, somebody plays a different schedule. How often do they really match up against each other when you're playing somebody else? So, I guess it's, I get to start opening day, and that's neat and all that. But for us, it really doesn't matter. I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. I think we got 5 opening day starters. We got 5 guys that are really good. So somebody has to get picked to do it. So Maxie's got it. So we'll go from there. We're going to play the next 4 days. They'll all show up, even though they didn't start the first game. So I think it's going to work out fine.
You're about ready for the real games to start?
I've been ready for about a week. This after a while, I know, I just want to get out of this weather. People think I'm nuts. It's too hot down here.
Yeah, muggy, rainy, all of it.
But your hair looks good in the rain.
Thanks, Kat. Wow, another compliment. Kat's mustache is looking pretty good as well today, guys. We'll send it back up to you.
I shaved it.
All right, just as the interview takes a disturbing turn, back to the booth. Thank you, gentlemen. And a ground ball. Drew Ward just fighting to make some contact there. The left-hander, Chasen Shreve, who was with the Braves for 15 games last year. Pretty good job of pitching right there against the lefty. Shreve was originally drafted by Atlanta, and he came over with David Carpenter, who's an outstanding hard-throwing reliever himself, for a minor leaguer by the name of Manny Banuelos back on the 1st of January. So Shreve is from Vegas, pitched at Bonanza High School out there, went to the College of Southern Nevada. Here's Doug Fister. He gets an AB against a left-hander. If you were paying attention, Steve McCaddy said that Doug would come out and pitch for the 5th inning, and that will be after he picks up a couple of RBIs. How about that? Drew Ward moves him over, and Doug Fister brings him in. 3-2 ball game.
So if you don't know in spring training, the managers will agree. American League team versus a National League team late in camp will say, hey, you use your DH. What was use our pitcher today? So the Nats, you would think we're at a disadvantage because they don't have a DH today, and the Yankees do. But Doug Fister, former first baseman at Fresno State, a guy that takes tons of pride in his batting abilities, knocks in a couple right there. The clutch 2-out knock to make this a 3-2 game. Nicely done.
Well, our pitchers have 2 RBIs more than their DH today. So Doug Fister, how about that? It's a 3-2 game. Pitching change for the Yankees. When we come back, we'll see Danny Espinosa in the batter's box.
Nats jump back into this one with a 2-out knock by Doug Fister. Scored a few. 3-2, bottom of the 4th inning. You can join the Nats in Boston as they play the Red Sox in their home opening series with the Nationals Destination Travel Package. Got a few friends coming up to Boston for that one. Everybody looking forward to that. Your Nationals Destination Package includes game tickets, hotel accommodations, VIP ballpark tour, and more. Maybe get to go up on the monster, go inside the monster. Who knows? Visit nationals.com/destination for details.
If this game counted, Doug Fister just would have doubled his career RBI total. Danny Espinosa batting right-handed against the righty Jose Ramirez. 25 years of age, from San Cristobal of the Dominican Republic. He pitched for the Yankees, AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre last year. He made 9 appearances out of the bullpen with a 1.46 ERA.
And a fastball averaged 95 last year. He's got a good one. You see it right there. His Spanish is Tyler Moore Spanish, Carp. That was nice. Solid.
Jose Ramirez.
San Cristobal is the one that I like.
San Cristobal. Danny Espinosa levels off and hits one up the middle. Doug Fister picks up his third base coach, and Bob Henley says, you better stop at second. 4 hits in the inning for the Nats.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Danny Espinosa, a switch hitter in the past, has gone straight right this year, and that was an off-speed pitch. But he stayed on nice, barreled it up. Looks like it's starting to click for Espinosa, right on right. Nicely done.
Ian Desmond is next. Strikeout. And a bouncer to third that was ruled in air. Could have been ruled either way. It was a tricky hop. And that ball will be in the gap. Danny Espinosa flying to third. When he scores, the Nats take the lead. About a 2-out lightning by Washington here.
Yeah, that's just a case of, you're wondering what Brian McCann might have been thinking right there. He played against Ian Desmond all those years. He swings at first pitches all the time. He swings at first pitch fastballs all the time, which doesn't necessarily mean you don't throw a guy a first pitch fastball. You just don't throw it right down the middle. Ian Desmond Very aggressive right there. Got on the first pitch and scored a couple. That ball was smoked into the gap, and the Nats got the lead.
Yeah, one of the good things about that, Pfister could take his time going home. And then Danny Espinosa, one of the fastest guys on the team, right behind him.
Yeah, we see that with Jordan Zimmerman all the time. Opponents know he's going to throw strikes. They know he's going to throw a first pitch fastball. But if you throw it to a location and you shave off a corner or you hit your spot with it, it can be an effective way to keep your pitch count down. Get some quick outs.
Good looking changeup there, 84 to Harper.
But you can't lay it right down the middle, not at this level. Guys will kill you.
Oh, I love that swing we saw from Espinosa against the right-hander. Great level. It seemed like the bat was in the hitting zone for quite a while. 1-1 to Bryce, who's lined out to center and walked. Pulled the string on him again, 86. He had Bryce kind of stepping away from that one.
The ball he hit in Kissimmee the other day against the Astros is still going. I mean, he got on a fastball. The wind was blowing out a little bit to right field, but I don't think it mattered. He hit it 500 feet plus. His only homer of the spring. Should have counted as 3.
One and 2 to Harper. Well, they've exploded here. Wilson Ramos' infield hit got the party started. Then Michael Taylor, a hot shot off the shortstop's glove. Pfister's big 2-out single. Espinosa, Desmond following, suddenly a 4-run frame. Close enough, and Bryce reached out to spoil it.
You know, a lot of people talking about Bryce's offense and how he's going to step up to the next level this year and have a big year. I'm excited from a personal standpoint to watch him play right field on an everyday basis and see his arm in play. You know, he played a lot of center field in 2012. You really can't throw out guys from center field, even though he did. You know, left field last year, you're kind of, you know, no one's going to run on Bryce in left field, but now in right field, he's going to get to showcase that thing a little bit. And it's going to be fun to watch. Teams try to go first to third on Bryce Harper.
Turned one over, did Jose Ramirez, and struck out Bryce. Big inning for the Nats. They get 4 runs on 5 hits to take the lead. Well, now they are winning. The Nats ahead 4-3. We go top 5. Doug Fister, 65th pitch of the day, 46 strikes.
I think the name of that song was Are You Winning, but I'm not sure.
I asked the truck, and they said the title was Loser. I don't know how they came up with that. Still updating my playlists for the coming season. Mr. Pop Culture himself. Chris Young, third at bat, hit by a pitch last time. Doug Fister robbed him of a hit on a hot shot through the box, first time up. 4-7-1 Nats, 3-6-2 Yankees. That's a high drive to left that's going to hit way out by the scoreboard. And this game is tied that quickly. Chris Young, 8 homers for the Mets last year. Then he went over to the Yankees and hit 3 more, what, in about a week? And everybody over in Flushing was like, where's that guy when he was in the blue and orange? He's got some pop.
Not a bad pitch. He just went down and dug it out. I mean, literally. That was down and in, got the barrel of the baseball, and that ball was crushed.
I mean, the Mets were looking for a huge season from him. He had 8 home runs in 88 ball games. And then did some damage for the Yankees down the stretch. Strike on a changeup to Brian McCann. He hit a long home run to right field last time. Had him out ahead. Zimmerman dives. Lovely. Leads Fister right to the bag. Did he used to play third base?
He did. He used to make plays like that, but he had to throw it all the way across the diamond once he got up. That time, he just had to flip it to Fister.
Sweet.
That's just about being ready for the baseball. You see the first step quickness from Ryan right there. Laying out, gets to his knees, and hits Doug Fister in stride. Nice play.
That's it for Fister. So he arrives right around the 70 pitch mark. He'll be done after 4 1/3. The Yankees took some hacks at him today in a 4-4 game.
Top of the 5th, we are tied at 4. Doug Fister got his work in for the day. That's good. Leaders in Washington have submitted a bid to host the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. It'll be the first one played in D.C. since 1969. Many are rallying around the web campaign. D.C. is ready. It is, folks. So let MLB know D.C. is ready via social media with hashtag DC is ready. And that is Carp's license plate in case you're keeping track at home.
It's my wife's initials, by the way.
It is.
35-year-old Rich Hill takes over for the Nats here. And he spent part of 2014 with the Yankees. 14 games. Finished off a couple. Only pitched 5 1/3 innings with the Angels for part of last year. Former starter who won 11 games as a starter for the Cubs back in 07. Garrett Jones in a lefty-lefty matchup. 3.60 ERA for Hill in 5 innings of work this spring.
A 3-pitch guy fastball. He'll cut that fastball and a curveball to go with it. So fastball last year averaged 90 miles an hour.
Looked like he added a little sidearm whip to that one that ended up outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Garrett Jones is lined to right and singled up the middle.
He's one of the key additions for the Yankees. You remember Nathan Eovaldi from the Marlins?
Mm-hmm.
Hard throwing right-hander. At times can be a little bit wild. Still working on his command and his off-speed stuff. David Carpenter, another off-season addition for the Yankees.
Yeah, he can bring it.
And then Gregorius, Andrew Miller, 4-year, $36 million contract, 6'7" lefty. And Garrett Jones, and of course A-Rod. The Yankees kind of doing a little different this year, not going out with the big splash free agent signings. Kind of more under the radar stuff and getting some young players that can help them for the long haul.
And a ball out to center. Michael Taylor just took a good look at it. Grabbed it for the second out here in the 5th inning.
Good swings by Jones today. He's hit the ball hard 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a chance to do some damage, as you said, in that ballpark with McCann. Here's John Ryan Murphy, the DH. He has singled and grounded out. Drew Ward threw him out from third base last time. Good fastball, 92, crackling to the outside edge. Murphy hit .246 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre last year. As mentioned earlier, .284 in a 32-game stint with the Yankees. Made an offer, held, and the count's 2-1. Everybody in the ballpark, maybe even the hitter, thought it was a strike. Paul Nart shook his head no and then signaled outside.
He gave up on it. It locked him up, too. A lot of times umpires, just like hitters, will give up on the pitch. And guarantee if you ask Paul Nart right now, he gave up on that one. That was a strike. Ramos didn't even have to move his glove.
Up the middle. Espinosa slides, and the ball kind of hits off his glove and ends up behind him. It'll be a 2-out hit for John Ryan Murphy.
Well, that would have been fun for everybody at home to see, except for John Ryan Murphy, if Espinosa came up with that and used his big right arm. He's got one of the better arms for a second baseman. Good effort. Nice at bat. Take that knock.
Brendan Ryan waiting in the batter's box. Fastball up. Right-handed batter. Clint Robinson well off the line in left. Bryce Harper not that far off the line in right. Breeze kicking up just a bit. It's been one of the, with all the weather in the area, very calm day. And Anthony Rendon watching. Can't wait to see him get back out there. Banged up his knee almost 2 weeks ago now here on Masson, making that diving play over at third base.
It's starting to look like opening day might be in jeopardy. Still experiencing some pain in that knee. So the top two guys in last year's lineup, the guys that made the Nats go, Denard Span, Anthony Rendon, not healthy. Should I go Captain Obvious and say that's not good?
That's a big bite out of the top of your lineup. There's no doubt about that. On a 3-1 count, a throw over. Murphy holding. Doug Fister threw over a couple of times back in the second inning with Murphy aboard. 15 hits in the game. 4-4 tie. Top of the fifth. Ball's outside. Maybe you would expect some offense on the day. The Wilson Sporting Goods Company bought Louisville Slugger today, it was announced. 130 years of Louisville Slugger. The Hillerich and Bradsby Company owning Louisville Slugger, a family-owned business. They sold today to the Wilson Sporting Goods Company. I was told this morning that their first bat went back to the rookie days of Honus Wagner. How about that?
That's just crazy.
I mean, you know, as a baseball fan, you're like, what? Louisville Slugger sold? What?
Well, I know a lot of guys are going to different bats. The DeMarinis are popular, the Maruccis. I mean, there's all kinds of different brands of bats guys are using now with the maple, so maybe that had something to do with it.
And the story I read said that the wooden bat business is really just a small part of all of that, with all the composite bats and aluminum bats that they make for the youth programs and all that sell for a whole lot more per bat and are used worldwide.
I'll tell you what, we were in AAA Indianapolis when we played Louisville, the Redbirds. We would always make a trip to the bat factory in Louisville. And you go in there and see how they do it, and they would have mismade bats. And in AAA, you would take big leaguers' mismade bats just because you needed good wood. Back in the day, they would give you bats that said pro stock on them in the minor leagues. That's what it would say right where your name goes. And it was the worst wood of the worst wood. So that's what you got used to using in the minor leagues was pro stock. And the ball wouldn't jump off it as good as a bat with, say, 9 or 10 grains when you had the ash. So it was always a big deal in AAA for us to go to the Louisville Bat Factory and take whoever's bats, just because the label might have been a little off, and they sent them back to Louisville, and we would get all the mismade big leaguers bats and think that was awesome.
That ball will play for Harper. We think Bryce covers it at the edge of the track, and the Yankees will settle for the one run on the leadoff homer. A monster shot by Chris Young. 4-4 halfway through. copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Well, we were told there was a hot dog head shot coming out of the commercial.
That is a great lid.
Wow. Bryce must be so proud. Bottom of the 5th inning. 4-4 game. Ryan Zimmerman leads off. And Jose Ramirez still out there for the Yankees with that big heater of his. But the Nats took some good hits at him last inning. Espinosa, solid single. Desmond, a ringing double to give the Nats the lead. They then lost on the Chris Young home run. Took a little bit off, 85 and a count of 0-2. Yeah, years ago, the Louisville Ball Club, when they changed affiliations, they were no longer the Redbirds. St. Louis had gone to Memphis. They wanted to be the Louisville Sluggers, and the bat company wouldn't let them. So since then, they've been the Louisville Bats.
They could be the Louisville Wilsons now.
Now that's a bad name. Well, maybe Wilson will let them be the Sluggers. I mean, it's a marketing opportunity, right? Well, don't forget, when you bring your group to the ballpark, you can have 10 times the fun, and you get some great rates at the same time for clients, employees, friends, if you have enough, or family. And new this year, new fan experiences like watching batting practice from the dugout or holding the finish line for the Geico President's Race. Look out for the big heads coming at you. 202-675-NATS or nationals.com/groups. Ramos pulls off a mid-80s pitch. Wilson infield hit last time, got that 4-run rally started. Everybody thinking fastball here, but they keep getting the straight change. And there's Casey Jansen. Set to take over, top of the 6th. And that one will fade down and in. Wilson Ramos this spring, 9 for 29. Target right down the middle. Then he threw him a changeup that came close to his front shoulder. Counts full, 3-2 with 1 out. And Clint Robinson on deck. We'll be back with you Thursday evening. The Mets will be here. 5 o'clock game. That's on the corner. Ramos is gone. And Ramirez has fanned 3 in a row.
Just spotted up the fastball nice right there. Not a whole lot Wilson Ramos can do. Great pitch.
Robinson a walk and a drive to left center that Chris Young ran down. .92 on the heater for a strike.
Well, getting back to the point I was making about Clint last time, you know, when you have a low maintenance swing, there's not a whole lot of moving parts. And that's easier to maintain over the long haul when you're not playing every day. When you're playing every day, you have the luxury of adjusting in the course of at-bat to at-bat, pitch to pitch. But when you're not playing every day, it's tough to adjust. So if you don't have a whole lot of moving parts and you can generate some bat speed with that approach where his feet really aren't moving a whole lot, that plays for a pinch hitter.
Robinson goes the other way, and that ball's got an extra gear to it, and it sends Gardner back onto the track. Clint Robinson continues to impress with the bat. The Nats go 1-2-3. Casey Janssen next. Welcome back to Space Coast Stadium, top of the 6th inning. Nats have a couple of changes. In a 4-4 ball game, Kevin Franzen will be in left field, taking over for Clint Robinson and Jose Lobato behind the plate. Casey Janssen, entire career with the Toronto Blue Jays, did a lot of closing there. 59, actually 59 saves the last 2 seasons. And he told me that he just was so thrilled about joining the Nats when I chatted with him this morning. He said there were times in Toronto as the closer, he'd feel the weight of the pitching staff and the team on his shoulder when things weren't going well. He says, hey, this is a great bullpen. It's a great staff. I'm just looking forward to fitting in with a bunch of guys like this who have a chance to win a championship.
Well, what he's going to really enjoy is pitching 81 games in a fair ballpark. If, you know, obviously he's not going to get in all 81 home games, but, you know, Toronto's a launching pad.
It is.
So you make a mistake there, fly balls go out. He's going to love pitching in Nats Park. Fastball, slider, curveball, cutter, and change. So 5-pitch guy. Relies on command. Not going to overpower you with his fastball. It averaged 89 miles an hour last year.
ERA up a little last year, but at 3.94, which is not horrible by any means in the American League, in that ballpark. But his 3 previous years, remarkable. In 2011, 2.26, then 2.54, then 2.56. Last 3 years, 22, 34, and then 25 saves. That'll fill the count, 3-2. Fastball missing upstairs. Leadoff man aboard. How's the bullpen shaping up?
Soaking in a little bit. I like the fact that we interviewed Matt Williams a few games ago, and I said, what guy stands out for you in camp? And he said Blake Trinan. And then Dan just interviewed Steve McCaddy, and he mentioned Blake Trinan as well. And you wonder if they're thinking about making him the 8th inning guy, or at least
he's got the stuff for it.
Yeah, but you know, the guy on the mound right now is probably going to be the 8th inning guy. So you would think, just based on how everybody's mentioning Blake Trinan and how well he's pitched in camp, that he's going to get some big innings while the Nats are ahead by 3 or less.
Runner going. And a slow roller for Danny Espinosa for the first out. Ref Snyder down to second base. So Nick Noonan grounds out 4-3. Top of the order. And another at bat for Brett Gardner. 0 for 3 today. Couple of strikeouts looking around an RBI ground ball. Gardner just 5 for 38 this spring. He'll be 32 in August.
Getting back to what you were talking about, Garvey, the last 3 outs of a game. You know, there's guys that have the stuff for that. But what you said about having the responsibility of 24 other guys on your shoulders, there's some guys, quite frankly, that can't handle that situation. And there's some guys that thrive on that situation. And I think that's what separates closers at the highest level. There's a lot of guys, as we've seen through the last couple of years especially, that can throw 98 to 100. It seems like every club has 2 or 3 of those guys now, where those guys used to be few and far between. But, you know, it's almost like what separates golfers on the PGA Tour on Sunday. It's the mental aspect of, you know, do you love that, the adrenaline rush, or does it get to you? And do you have a short memory?
Easily handled by Michael Taylor, that fly ball. Second out here in the 6th. And that will bring up Chris Young, who hit one a mile here last time up.
Just like from an offensive standpoint, do you like to be the guy up there with the game on the line?
Yeah.
Some guys do, some guys don't. They'll never tell you. But they'll sure show you. First baseman's a good example of that.
I was just looking over that way. And Ryan he's never made a big deal out of it. He just wants to go up and put a good swing on the ball. But he started doing it so early in his career. That was rare.
But the fact that he did it early in his career allowed him to have success in that situation, and now it's not a big deal.
Right.
You know, you've clutched up. You have all the walk-offs. I mean, the first game at Nats Park in the history of the ballpark, he had a walk-off homer. And then from then on, it's just a ho-hum situation for a guy that succeeded in those situations more times than not.
And it was 2 years before that, in his first full year, when he hit that homer against the Yankees. Against Chin-Ming Wong, that won that series. And Chris Young's going to hit another monster shot. He has knocked in 3 with his last 2 swings, and the Yankees lead 6-4. Leadoff walk comes back to haunt.
Well, for some reason, Jacoby Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, or Carlos Beltran can't answer the bell at any time this year. The Yankees have a nice little insurance policy in Young. Guy did a great job for him last year and is impressed here today with a couple of taters.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if A-Rod gets off to a bad start, if Young might get a lot of DH action with that live stick of his. He has scored 3 runs today, driven in 3. Here's Brian McCann, whose 2-run homer back in the 3rd put the Yankees on top 3-0. Loud sounds off the backs of the Yankees right now. That one foul.
Got to start saving those for the regular season.
And a 1-2 got in on the hands of McCann. He'll see a lot of shifts during the season.
Actually worked on going the other way more in the offseason because that's all he saw all last year.
Jammed, and he fights one off. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 10 runs in the ball game on 16 hits. Didn't know if we were going to play a ball game today. The weather and the forecast looking bad, but uninterrupted since 1:06 Eastern time, and the Yankees lead 6-4. Dan's downstairs. He's already talked to Tyler Moore and Steve McCaddy and Tony Quinn Jr. 1-2 pitch. Jansen paints. That's it for the Yankees in the 6th. But a walk and a home run. Chris Young doing big-time damage today. Bottom 3 straight ahead for Washington.
We thought our
right now, and I'm sure he wants to see this again. A little 2-out knock up the middle, scoring a couple. And hooray for me, getting some props for the bench, as he should. And then Ian Desmond going shopping at the gap with a bolt. That would score Danny Espinoza. And that's where we stand, 6-4 Yankees. Just got a couple of back with the home run from Chris Young. He's got a couple today. 3 RBIs. He's been the star of this one for sure.
A big swing by Ian Desmond back in that 4-run 4th inning. Knocked in a couple with a screamer to the left center gap.
Big hair by Ian Desmond, too.
Here's Kyle Davies.
He's ready for that Anthony Rendon Chia Pet day.
31-year-old right-hander.
Or is it Jason Worth? I'm getting him confused.
Well, you never know. I think Rendon's the Garden Gnome this year.
Yeah, Worth is a Chia Pet.
Yeah. Garden Gnome, the ultimate tribute now.
Well, he looks like a Garden Gnome today with his hoodie on.
I'd rather see him at third base.
Yeah.
Davies with the Royals last year. 13 starts. Had a bit of a rough ride at 1-9. And off the bat of Michael Taylor, Breeze playing with it, and then staying with it, Garrett Jones to make that grab. What Anthony Rendon was able to do last year in a breakthrough season. 111 runs, top 5 in hits, over 610 ABs, and he was an extra base hit machine.
5th in the MVP race, correct?
Right. Along with the doubles, he had 6 triples, hit 21 home runs. Oh, what a good swing that was. Drew Ward leveling off and lining out to left, 2 down. Quickly against Kyle Davies here in the 6th. Here's Kevin Franzen's first debut of the day. So they actually made a double switch. I've got to get used to this double switch stuff again because there was a pitcher in there today. So Franzen takes the number 9 spot.
Yeah, the most unbelievable stat last year for Anthony Rendon was that he hit 287. I mean, it's the hardest 287 I've ever seen.
Sure.
And it seemed like he squared up 2, 3, 4 balls a night last year. And the fact that he only hit 287 is shocking to me. I mean, that's a guy that, with any luck last year, hits above 300 in his sleep and eventually will be a perennial 300 hitter. No doubt in my mind.
Out to short. That's Cole Figueroa, who just came in for the Yankees to throw out Kevin Franzen. And this ball game is into the 7th inning. 6-4, New York. Well, folks out in left field ducking a couple of line drive bombs by Chris Young today out there on the deck. And it's 6-4 Yankees into the 7th.
They're hoping for some more sunshine today, but a little cloudy, and it's been a little cloudy with the injuries for the Nats. Check it out. Denard Span, Anthony Rendon, Jason Worth, basically the heart of the Nats order. Jason Worth has been playing some defense on the minor league side, been swinging with the fungo. His shoulder's progressing. That knee's still barking for Rendon. Denard Span talked to him today. He thinks he's going to be back sometime in early May. Nate McLouth has been hitting, but the throwing's coming along. And Drew Storn had the hamate injury to his left hand. Did that hitting. Well, that's your hospital update.
Craig Stammen. Danny Espinosa's over at third base.
Oh, he tipped his cap. Nice timing.
Tony Renda, second base, and Craig Stammen on the mound. Garrett Jones, fourth at bat. He's lined out twice to the outfield and a base hit up the middle. Stammen with a nasty slider under the hands of the left-hander. Great pitch.
Yeah, when he keeps it down there, unhittable, tough to pick up the rotation. This has been his bread and butter pitch for the last 2-3 years.
This is Eddie Rodriguez taking over as the DH here in the 7th inning. John Ryan Murphy went 2 for 3 in that spot. Stammen throwing a strike.
Craig Stammen last year had a 3.84 ERA. And I think if you take 2 outings away against the Baltimore Orioles, his ERA would have been around 2. If you remember a couple of times against the Orioles, he had a rough one inning, and they put up a crooked number against him. I think it was 5, 6, 7 runs on multiple occasions. They had him figured out for sure. But, I mean, a 3.84 ERA is a good season, especially 49 games and the 72 2/3 he pitched last year. But there was a couple of outings you take away, and his numbers would have been even better.
Yeah, it takes about half a season for a pitcher's ERA to recover. The Nationals will play the Orioles in mid to late September this year.
I think sometime in July, right around the All-Star break.
Yeah, there, and then Nats Park in September. You're right. Some high gas, 2 down. Picks up the Cole Figueroa, the shortstop.
Yeah, changing the eye level right here. Gets you looking down for that slider and then kind of climbs the ladder with the fastball. You know, for a pitcher, you go up and down, in and out, soft and hard. Right now, Craig Stammen's going bottom half of the zone, top half of the zone.
Over but low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to run that fastball. Kind of starting that thing at the front hip of the left-handed batter.
Steve McCaddy with all the sunglasses looking on. You know, I was talking to some people before the game. I don't think McCaddy gets enough credit for what he does with his staff.
And I was just thinking about that, FP. I think there's a reason for that. He never toots his own horn.
Well, you should never. You don't want to be a self-promoter. Hey, look at me, look what I'm doing.
But there have been some in that role around baseball over the years. Steve McCaddy does his job, and he always tells us, I just want to stay out of their way. We know there's a whole lot more to it than that. Yankees 6, Nationals 4. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Top of the order coming up for Washington. We were talking about the schedule and that interleague thing going on with the Orioles. So let's go all the way to the bottom line. The Nationals will finish the mythical first half prior to the All-Star break at Camden Yards. And then the Yankees, or rather the Orioles, will be back there in September. Home and home with the Yankees. Home and home with the Rays.
Are you with me that Red Sox home opener is like a bucket list thing? I mean, I'm so fired up. I'm obviously fired up for the Nats home opener on April 6th. That's going to be great. It always is.
Now, if Neil Diamond shows up and sings Sweet Caroline, that'll really be something.
Just, I mean,
of course, we've already had him in our ballpark.
Fenway Park, opening day. I mean, check the bucket list right there. How lucky are we to be there for that?
Espinosa leads off the 7th. Kyle Davies had a quick 6th inning. Danny 1 for 1, solid single up the middle, followed by the Desmond double, and Ian is on deck here in the 7th. I thought maybe some of the regulars would get 4 at-bats today because there is a day off tomorrow. Probably a very welcome one at this stage of spring training for those guys.
It's a perfect day off, perfectly timed.
I mean, who gets a Tuesday off?
It's going to seem
the boys will tomorrow.
It's going to seem like a week off for these guys, especially at this point in camp when you're just ready to head north and play games that count.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Espinosa has one slip by him.
I think I may have mentioned this before, but Dusty Baker, when I was with the Giants, would give you your own personal day off. So he would come up to you at the beginning of camp, like the first week of camp, and say, hey, Bob, you have March 16th off. And that was your personal day. One guy on the team.
That's cool.
And you didn't have to show up to the ballpark. He'd say, spend it with your family. And he would go around to every guy and say, you have March 19th off. Your day off is March 20th. So on that day, every guy on their own day didn't have to come to the yard. And it was just a meltdown day to go to Disney World or do whatever the heck you wanted to do with your family. And I thought that was genius.
Very nice. Big rip by Ian Desmond. Here's Blake Trinan, who everybody's been talking about.
Thursday night, it's your personal day off.
Trying to get me fired?
You don't have to show up next game.
I'll be off after 8 o'clock. Although,
well, it's good that you know it's a night game now.
I know. Yeah. Didn't exactly book the flights with that in mind first time around.
Well, I'm rubbing off on you. Last year in Chicago, I'm running on Lake Michigan about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and my phone's blowing up, and I look at it, and they're like, why the weird start time today? Friends from D.C. are texting me, it's a 3 o'clock start. And I said, it is?
You never have too many friends.
I had to jump in a cab and get there quick.
Fortunately, you were jogging in your Masson shirt and tie, and everything turned out okay.
In my 26 years of professional baseball, I've never had a 3 o'clock start on a Friday night. So I just missed that one.
Well, your first mistake was thinking that 3 p.m. was Friday night. No, that's every announcer's nightmare. You wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat.
Players, too.
Yeah. I have a recurring dream that it's 5 o'clock and I'm not even in the city where my game is.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Could never sleep with a night game and a day game the next day. I was always worried that I would miss the game. Flip-flop all night. Matt Williams probably the same way.
Desmond turning into a good at bat. Ian takes one over a bit low, 2-2. Yeah, it's kind of like you're walking into your final in college and you haven't been to that class the entire semester. It's right along those lines.
Wait, that was college for me.
Well, I heard you got all B's from the University of Miami that semester.
Well, that's about 2 or 3 up from what I got.
Oh, okay. Full count, 1 out, bottom 7. And a good at bat. Ian Desmond's on again for Bryce Harper. Nats have been given a few walks today. That's their 4th presented by the Yankees. Haven't done much with it. And the pinch runner is Steven Perez. for Ian Desmond. Then he'll take over at short. Bryce is 0 for 2 with a walk. Line drive to center, swinging strikeout.
Kind of along those lines that we're talking about. You know, you play all these 1 o'clock starts in spring training, and all of a sudden you have to get on what I call the vampire shift. And all the night games you play during the season. And you get into this rhythm in spring training where you're waking up at 6:30, 7 o'clock every day. You're playing at 1 o'clock every day. And then you have to shift gears in the regular season to the nightlife. And, you know, 7 o'clock starts. And that takes a minute. And I always wondered why teams in spring training the last week didn't just play night games to maybe get their players in that groove.
Yeah, that's a good call.
For the regular season, because that's not an easy thing. When you talk about the Marlins and what they've done this year with it, you know, their chartered plane has, you know, a training table on it, and they have all the amenities on their own personal plane. And you talk to teams that have, you know, nutritionists now, and, you know, the way teams travel has changed, and down to every last detail. You wonder why teams don't start playing night games late in spring training on top of all the things they do already.
So you can book a massage ahead of time on the charter plane now?
For the Marlins.
If you're a Marlin?
Yeah.
They got those little chairs you see in the airport where you get 5 minutes for $5. You know, you put your head down in there and they work on you. That's pretty cool.
No, I think it's the way of the future. You know, let players sleep. Maybe get planes with, you know, beds on it where they can stretch out and sleep. Kind of cut into the card games. But
yeah. Guys, a lot of money saved on that deal. Good swing by Harper. Hooks one to right. You know, he's thinking, too, he'll make a big round to the bag, and Slade Heathcott gets it back in to keep Bryce at a single, but he gets Steven Perez over to third base.
A nice job of using the hole provided by Ian Desmond. Any elevation right there, and that ball's still going. Nice swing by Harper.
Drew Vedelson will run for him.
And you hope Steven Perez was loose, because he had to go all the way to third just coming into that game.
There's Ryan Zimmerman. Tying runs on base here. Bottom 7. Breaking ball. It was sitting up a bit. Ryan today 0 for 3. A fly ball to left, a grounder, and a strikeout. There's Drew Vedelson. We saw him have the thrill of his first spring training big league home run last week. Jose Lobaton on deck here. That ball popped up. Ryan hopes it gets out of play. Not reachable for the catcher, Austin Romine. It's a battle now on 0-2. Ball gets away. Down the line at third, and scoring is Steven Perez. Third Yankee error today.
A simple pickoff throw to first base, and not that bad a throw.
Yeah, we'll see who they give it to.
That's got to be E3. I mean, you'd think.
Zimmerman pulls it. It gets by Jonathan Galvez over at third. Heading for third is Vedelson. Zimmerman into second base. We'll see how they rule that one. Not an easy play on the backhand side.
He might have played this into a hit. This is a play at the major league level. It's got to be made. I mean, it's that simple, but you see him kind of freeze right there, and he plays the in-between hop. You know, there's that moment of truth at third base where you have to decide, am I going to go get this ball, or am I going to lay back on it? he was in between both. And he played it into a hit. They scored it a base knock. They scored it a double.
And then Matt Skoll will run for Ryan Zimmerman. So he's the lead run at second. Vedelson at third, the tying run. And here's Jose Lobaton for the first time. Lobaton on the spring. 2 hits and 22 at-bats with an RBI. Swinging a foul tip.
Yeah, we watch these games and late you see plays that you're used to seeing be made. And I think, for fans at home that watch the full spring training game, that's really the difference between the big leagues and the minor leagues. And it's the routine play is made so frequently at the major league level. As a fan or even as a broadcaster, you start to take it for granted.
Yeah.
And Felipe Alou always used to say the only easy play is the one that's already made. But when you're at the highest level every single day like us, we get spoiled. We see all these plays being made. Like, a simple throw over to first. In the minor leagues, that goes down the right field fence. Sometimes runners running everywhere. In between hops aren't made.
And a line drive that'll put the Nats on top. Lobaton delivers. He's digging for 2. Good throw gets him. It's offline. And the Nationals lead 7-6.
Little tip of the cap back to the dugout for Jose Lobaton. Clutch double puts the Nats ahead. So Nats taking advantage of some sloppy defense right now by the New York Yankees. You see Danny Espinosa going back to tag. Watch Bob Henley almost crash right here. Look out.
Well, the Yankees are on a 2-game trip. They've used a bunch of pitchers with the squad they brought over. They played the Mets in Port St. Lucie yesterday. They spent the night in Melbourne on their way up here. I know they brought a bunch of extra pitchers, but they're staying with Kyle Davies through a very rough 7th inning here. This inning started with a strikeout of Danny Espinosa. Cutter Dykstra. 267 on the spring. He's 4 for 15. Good eye on the breaking ball. Dykstra not biting.
I think I called Drew Vedelson Danny Espinosa because my eyes are bad and I thought the 5 was an 8.
Well, Vedelson ran for Harper. Skoll ran for Zimmerman. So they both scored on that last play. If that helps.
No.
Fly ball to right.
I think so.
That's caught by Slade Heathcott.
Okay.
2 down. And Michael Taylor still in the ball game. Maybe his last at bat. Outfielder Dale Carey is listed to replace him. Michael today, a walk, a base hit, a run scored, and a foul out to the right side. That's about hit the Yankees now 10-9 and have the lead 7-6. Breaking ball stays inside. Fastball up. Michael takes it. Nats have trailed 3-0, led 4-3. Then they trailed 6-4, now leads 7-6. And Taylor high in the air, right side of the infield. Foul ground, Francisco Arcia. It ends up fair. And that's it for the Nats, the big blow of the inning. Jose Lobaton came in to catch for an inning, and then he rifles one to right. The Nats also had hits from Harper and Zimmerman. And into the 8th, 7-6, Nationals.
Live Nationals baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Changes for the Nats. That is the aforementioned Dale Carey for Michael Taylor. Drew Vedelson, who seems to make something happen every time he's on television. Right field, and Steven Perez ran for Ian Desmond. He stays in and plays short. First base, Matt Skoll. And Blake Trinan on the mound now. 7-8-9 for the Yankees here.
And pretty good spring numbers, I'd say. Fastball 95 to 98. Good sink to it. At times it looked like a split, and at times it's hard to catch.
I was about to say the same thing. That was lively. This is Tyler Austin, who takes over for the Yankees. Hitting for Aaron Judge. Tyler Austin, he's on their 40-man roster, hit .275 at Double-A Trenton last year with 47 RBIs. 3-0. Trinan this spring, 7th appearance, 0 ERA. 2 unearned runs in his first 6 innings. 4 strikeouts, has not walked a batter yet, and he's trying not to here.
Got that sinker running all over. It's hard to throw for a strike.
Just outside, leadoff man aboard. .97.
Well, even though it's spring training, even though Blake Trinan is facing, some guys he probably won't face during the season, Matt Williams wants to see what he could do in this situation. He talked about how well he's been doing all spring. You got a 1-run lead. It's the 8th inning. He may find himself in situations just like this in the regular season.
Number 97, Jonathan Galvez takes over here.
And the last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff man with a 1-run lead.
Austin Romine, the catcher, is next. Joe Girardi is making a mockery of the scorebook here because he's not putting guys in straight up.
I think he's laughing at you right now.
He is. Catcher's taking over for the third baseman.
He knows how much pride you take in your scorebook, even in spring training.
Not this one. Breeze blowing in from right field now. Not too stiff of a breeze. It's just been an interesting day here. Surrounded by rain all up and down Florida, but got very little of it here since the game started.
Who told you we were playing today? Thank you.
You did. You did. FP's bootleg weather hitting one finally.
You just don't make it that hard. There was rain to the north, rain to the south, and a big gap between them when they were moving east to west or west to east.
Well, you knew more than the weather app on my phone, that's for sure.
Just read the radar. I knew we were playing.
What was your prediction on the stock market today?
No idea.
That was up 54. So there's some good news for everybody. Still some trading to be done. A bouncer. Perez has to back up. Turned nicely by Tony Renda on a 6-4-3.
Boy, you talk to people and they rave about Tony Renda and how tough he is and what a good baseball player he is from Northern California, a guy that's moving through the minor league system quick, and you get a good example of it right here. Look at him hang tough on this double play. He knew there was going to be traffic. He knew there was going to be contact, but the strong arm on a ball you didn't think was going to be a double play turns into a double play. Nicely done.
There's the catcher, Austin Romine.
I mean, I saw a lot of Dustin Pedroia in that turn right there.
And a strike call.
That was impressive.
26-year-old catcher out of Lake Forest, California, Austin Romine, facing Trinan, who can always get the ground ball. He's always one pitch away from being out of an inning. Look at him snap off the breaking pitch right there.
We talked earlier about Yudel Escobar going to second base and how, everything's kind of from the blind side all of a sudden. But Renda, a guy who's played second base a lot, knew there was going to be contact based on the speed of the baseball, the speed of the runner, and hung in there tough. And not only hung in there tough, got something on that throw to complete it.
0-2 count here.
And that's the thing that Blake Trinan, as we've seen in the past, always has in his back pocket with that turbo sinker, the ground ball double play.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you love in the eighth inning, isn't it? Anytime, but especially the late innings. He's got the four-seamer going right there. Blake Trinan leadoff walk. He erases the inning in a heartbeat with the double play ball and the strikeout. This arm, a lot of talk this spring. Chicken dance.
Bob's pass list.
Yours does the line dancing. That's the only thing worse than the chicken dance. Upcoming schedule. The Mets will be here Thursday. It's a special, almost primetime Masson date for all of us. First pitch, 5:05 after we hit the airwaves. And then a week from Saturday, the Yankees at Nationals Park. It's a 1 o'clock game. 48 hours before opening day.
That one's for the fans. That's your spring train to get ready for April 6th.
Exactly.
You go to that one, fill up the place. We'll all practice opening day together.
New pitcher out of Kiln, Mississippi is 22-year-old Jacob Lindgren, 5'11", 180. And last year at Double-A Trenton, he appeared in just 8 ball games. He was with their rookie league club in Tampa for 6 games prior to that. Pitched 4 games for Charleston in the Sally League. He was all over the place. Left-hander Jacob Lindgren. There's Tony Renda leading off for the Nats. Renda 307 at Potomac last year with 47 RBIs. He's a contact guy. He has 3 career minor league home runs, but 130 RBIs. He's hit 264 at Auburn, 294 at Hagerstown, and then 307 where he blossomed down in Woodbridge last year.
More importantly than numbers, he won a championship, and I think when you talk about the Nats minor league system and how they're winning at every level, that's the part that you get excited about. These kids are not just learning how to play baseball the right way. That's a given with the way they teach it, and the minor league staff that the Nationals have. But they're learning how to win. And I think, more organizations are going toward that, learning how to win.
Renda with a chopper to the left side. Good play by Lindgren to get him.
If you just develop individual players and their skills, and then finally they're thrown to the major league level, where the only thing that matters is the big W, you don't know how to get guys over. You don't know how to get guys in. You don't know how to do the little things to win ball games. I mean, you talk about all these showcases that these kids have now and traveling around to different teams and never really having that rivalry in high school or American Legion or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're thrown into, it's time to win, and you've never really known what it takes to win. You know how to hit a ball hard. You know how to hit a ball far. You know how to throw a ball hard. But you don't know what it takes to play winning baseball. That's taught at the minor league level now, I think, with a lot of organizations, especially the Nats. And now you know how to play winning baseball. And you ask guys, like, is he a winning player? That's one of the first questions that's asked now. Can he help me win games?
Right.
Not what's his 60 time or what's his time to first. Yeah, those things come into play, of course. But that's not the first thing that's asked anymore. It's, can the guy help me win?
Yeah, don't get me started on coaches who stack these teams and then beat the brains out of everybody. One hopper, third base. Galvez throws out Franzen.
You mean like Kentucky?
And I know John Calipari, and I'd say it to his face. Well, he's doing it within the rules. I'll leave it at that. Danny Espinosa getting his 3rd at bat of the day. Came in the 4th inning to play third base. A single, a strikeout. Now he gets one more AB against the left-hander, Jacob Lindgren. So Danny gets a rare look at a left-hander this spring. He's seen a lot of right-handed pitching. And that's probably a good thing that'll pay off. Aaron Barrett was listed on the sheet today with Heath Bell, Evan Meek, Rafael Martin. So we'll see who comes out for the 9th inning. It looks like Heath Bell. We're a little blind from our spot, so our crew helps us out. Chuck Whitlock, our director, he and his wife expecting a baby here shortly, and Chip Winfield, our producer, steps into the director's chair today. Mike Dressman produces, and our great Masson crew gets us through another afternoon here in Florida. And Josh Hall, married within the last, week and a half from our crew? Congrats to Josh and his bride. Laura. Two balls, two strikes. Jose Lobaton pulling one last time up. Might get the Nats a win.
A sneaky trip to the mound, too, and Blake Trinan was having trouble throwing strikes. Went out there real quick, tightened him up, and got the double play grounder and the strikeout.
Espinosa jammed. Down to Jonathan Galvez at first, and that's it for the Nats. They go 1-2-3. Ninth inning coming up. Washington trying to win its ninth game of the spring.
Nats Plus is back right when you think it wasn't. It's back for the 2015 season. It will feature incredible benefits, including discounts, exclusive events, and more. For a limited time, members can also receive an official 10th anniversary Nationals jersey. That is while supplies last. Don't miss out on what is sure to be an awesome season. Starting with your guaranteed seat on opening day. Call 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com/Nats Plus. Join today.
Heath Bell signed as a free agent with the Nationals last December 23rd. And those folks looking for him to revert to his old form and be a closer here. Slade Heathcott, the hitter here.
And we get your first look at Heath Bell in a Nats uniform.
6 games, 5 innings, 4 earned runs. He's had a control issue or two with 5 walks and 6 strikeouts over that time. 42 saves with the 09 Padres, 47 there the following year, and then 43 more.
The fastball, curveball split. The 3 pitches the Yankees will see from Heath.
Bell last year with Tampa Bay, just 13 games. Only 17 innings. He was with the Yankees up until June 24th of last year. And they released him. Trying to just get things back. He was released by 3 different teams last year. The Rays, the Orioles, and the Yankees. That's tough to take. Here he is, hopefully on his way back to being 100% healthy. Ball hanging up a bit, but the Nats have a guy out there. It's Drew Vedelson for the first out.
Remember, Bell signed that big contract with the Marlins in the winter before the 2012 season. Things didn't work out in Miami for him. Then went to Arizona in 2013, and what you just mentioned. He's gotten in better shape, and he's trying to make a go of it here with the Nats.
Ramon Flores, the center fielder, the hitter here. And then Dan Fiorito to follow for the Yankees here in the top of the ninth. Bell gets a high strike. Counts even, 1-1. Great crowd today, by the way. 7,295. Capacity of the ballpark listed at 7,200. So some extra folks out on the berm in left field a little earlier here at Space Coast. Turned into a nice day for a ball game once the weather got out of here. It's looking real good for Heath Bell. 2 outs here in the ninth.
A 2-strike fastball by Bell down in the zone. Good location.
There's Dan Fiorito. Nats trying to even their record at 9-9 with 3 ties. The Yankees came in to this game 12-8. Bouncer right side. How good was Heath Bell in the 9th inning today for a very quick save? And the Nationals win it over the Yankees 7-6.
Well, it's nice to see Yunel Escobar for the first time this year, getting some game action. We'll see how he came out of it. He looked good, swung the bat hard, made some nice plays at second base. So the newest Nats second baseman got a little sneak preview today, and the Nats get a nice win here against the Yankees.
And by the way, Chris Young's go-ahead home run in the 6th inning would be the last hit by the Yankees today against the Nationals bullpen, who came up outstanding. Each team stranding 6 runners. The Nationals win it 7-6. We'll wrap it up from Space Coast in a moment.
DynCorp